Hi, this is Doctor's Neutopia, and this is Loveolution Village. Loveolution is a word that I have been thinking about for a long time. It combines love and revolution. And what I mean by that is that we need a revolution of the heart. We need one desperately, and we need it now. When I look at those images of what is happening in the Middle East with the war between the Palestinians and the Israelis, it is sickening. The whole world is sickened by this continuation of a war that seems to have no end. It's the war that could end the world because there are still nuclear weapons in that region. There's still nuclear weapons all over the world. Just because the Cold War ended does not mean that we ended war. It meant that a new generation of nuclear weapons continued to be made, and diplomacy has not shifted into a new direction that it needs to shift in order for us to have world peace. There are some friends of mine that don't even believe that peace is possible on this planet, that we're just going to have to live with this condition until an apocalypse happens. Well, why can't we change our reality? We change our time at least once a year in the United States when people all of a sudden they go into daylight savings time, and people just change. It's as simple as that, just acknowledging that we're all going to change, and then we change. It's a collective change at this point towards a planetary sustainability. I'm of the opinion that we need to have a global thinking inside ourselves to be able to make this switch. That nationalism is just going to lead to more war, as it has for the last 2,000 years of empire building and the collapse of empires. And with these empires comes the exploitation of the working class, a slavery class in many cases, and then it starts just eating up all of the natural resources that it can. It's like a disease on the surface of the planet that just needs more and more and more as the population continues to grow. That's what we're experiencing now. The end of not just an empire, but the end of a planetary system. Gaia, the biosphere that regulates the planetary climate and has protected us all these millennia from a hostile environment. Now, in the Gaia theory, it states that the Earth is this superorganism. It's composed of various ecosystems that interact with each other. So the rocks interact with the life forms on the planet, and it causes this stability in global climate. Well, we're rocking that boat right now with this declining empire and using up the fossil fuels in the world and spewing them out into our environment, rising the CO2 level, and this, of course, causes global warming. There's so many indicators that our planet is dying, whether it's the coral reefs in the sea that are very ill and dying, or whether it's the fish who are now in decline. And then also the phytoplankton in the ocean that creates something like 40% of our oxygen. And they're also being destroyed. And then you go onto land and you see the destruction of the rainforest in Brazil, which have been called the lungs of the planet. And they're continuing to be cut down. Old growth forests are very rare now on this planet. And there are very few redwoods left in California. We see this terrible drought in California. 80% of California presently is under severe drought conditions. I read an article recently, excuse me, where did I go? Oh, there we go. I did not really disappear. I read an article about the whole Colorado River Basin drying up. It's affecting 7 states that receive that Colorado River water. And this is really devastating. And we're in denial about our water crisis here in the Southwest. Scientists have said that this part of the country is rising in temperature quicker than other areas of the United States because of global warming. And the population growth of the Southwest continues to suck out the underground water supply. And then we have Lake Mead. In dry periods, the states rely on the reservoir for water, but it's so low now that who knows when it will just become dry. Now, is that what it takes for humanity to change? For us to run out of water here in the Southwest and become water refugees? Is that what it will take for us to change our ways and start realizing that underneath the economy is the ecology? I feel that even myself, I continue to have my head in the sand about the crisis. I continue to fly on airplanes using all the CO2 because I too am in denial about what is happening to the planet. Now, some people feel that there will be geoengineering or some other technological inventions that will make it possible for humanity to continue the way it has been. There are people that say, oh, we have plenty of oil. We'll find new reservoirs of oil to continue the lifestyle of the American dream. As if this dream can continue forever, and as if there are just unlimited resources on this planet for growth to continue on into the foreseeable future. Well, this is the way our foreign policy works. It's the way that our national policies work, that we need to have continuous growth, and that there will be jobs in the future for everyone. This is just a lie. It's not realistic. It's not what is happening. And our media continues to play these tricks on people that somehow don't think about the water crisis or, continue to support the corporate way of thinking. Now, there are other people who feel that industrial civilization is dying and that we should prepare ourselves for the death of civilization. Get yourself in a place where there is water and get off the grid and use solar energy and have Electric cars. Well, that's one way of looking at it when you are facing the collapse of civilization, to try to bunker up and you're going to be a survivor. I'm not taking that point of view. I'm taking the point of view that it is time for us to collectively come to our senses and to build a new reality. Now that reality to me is looking at our limits, seeing the limits of growth, and start becoming mature as a species. We have so much technological power at this point. One person can now talk to the entire human population through the internet. That's quite a lot of power for an individual to have. So with the right message, we could possibly change our direction and move into a new path. That's what I call the Gaia Messiah consciousness. It's a collective consciousness. It is one that is based on cooperation and partnership. It has nothing to do with the hierarchical system that built Western civilization, the autocratic rule of one man, because I'm talking about not the rule of the people and what is good for them, what is healthy, what is best for their well-being, and we move into a happy planet index. Now that happy planet index is an indicator of how happy people are. They've used it in certain countries in Asia, and it's starting to gain popularity that, hey, maybe we should look at people's happiness as far as an indicator rather than the growth national products and the whole profit motive. We don't need that anymore. The Gaia Messiah consciousness is about saving the human species and looking at all of the scientific data that we need to look at, like in terms of like water in the future, and map out a plan of survival. And I think it really comes down to that, is our survival. And then our expansion into the cosmos. So if we can have this new Gaia regime, is what I call it, then we have the possibility to expand throughout the cosmos. Why? Because this pattern has to be in line with cosmic wisdom. Now that cosmic wisdom has to do with looking inside, going inside and realizing that it's all about self-discipline and our connection with our gifts that we were born with to serve humanity. It's not serving the nation state, it's not serving the fatherland, it's not serving just the mother. It's serving what is good for all. Justice for all. And that's what we are looking at here. And that's what the Gaia Messiah, the role of the Gaia Messiah is to bring this new regime into power by each of you connecting with who you are on a deeper level than what you can do presently in Western civilization. Western civilization is fragmented, where Gaia consciousness is holistic. It looks at the whole being in terms of health, and it works on a soul level to cure humanity's ills. And once we can reconnect with the cosmos, then a healing can happen on the physical level. So starting out with the metaphysical level of who we are and what we need to do in order as a species to survive, then we can heal the soul. Now for me, what this means is looking at what is the ideal city arrangement. From there, I looked at the work of architect Paulo Soleri and his idea of arcology. I've been visualizing an arcology built on Arizona State Trust land for more than a decade. And in that visualization, I can see this working as a workers' cooperative until most of the labor is automated, which means it's the end of the Protestant work ethic. And it's the beginning of a leisure economy where we have time and resources to take a look at who we are, our creative nature, what we really want to do in life, rather than fitting in to the economic structure the way it is now. We understand who we are and how that contributes to the greater good of humanity. So rather than fitting in, we are being creative agents to a global civilization and a network of arcologies. Because arcologies, this is a planetary levolution. And in this way of thinking, we look at the different bioregions. And by that I mean, this is a Green Party term, that you divide the planet not in terms of nation states, these political boundaries, but in terms of natural boundaries, such as mountain ranges, watersheds, deserts, forest, these kind of ways of nature. And once we have a clear understanding of the map of bioregions, then every arcology would be different within the various bioregions. And I see this as a part of a global local strategy. By global, the planet agrees that in order to survive, we have to build the arcology, which is a fusion of architecture and ecology. So the architecture is an integrated system of the various components that humans need in order to thrive in a city, such as the engineering component, the water component, the communication component, the transportation component. And it is fused together in a way that creates this alignment with the cosmos so that we can have a sustainable city. And these cities would also be decentralized because they'd all be different depending on the various bioregion that they are in. So a desert arcology here in Arizona would be a lot different than one, say, in the rainforest in Washington State. One, Washington gets a lot more rain than Arizona, and Arizona gets a lot more sun. So that would make them very different, except the container of the union of the various components of an arcology would be similar. So the concept would be the same, but the application of it would be very different. And this is how I see the planet overcoming the climate crisis, is by arcologies. And it looks like, because of the denial, sticking our head in the sand about the water issue, the energy issue, the nuclear waste issue, the population issue, all the issues that we are in denial of. Once we say, okay, we can't go on like this anymore, we start thinking, okay, let's build the new container. We realize that we have this new relationship with the machine. We see that now in almost every field. You need the computer. It does our accounting. It does our cars. It runs our cars. It runs our houses and smart houses. It runs the educational system. And this is one of the components that I see of the network of our ecologies as well, is that the internet is becoming this global brain. And it is everywhere, and it's needed everywhere. And it keeps track of our resources. And we cannot live without it. And the network of our ecologies cannot be built without it. It's the global brain. It becomes the Gaia consciousness. It's the digital Gaia. So there are two parts to Gaia. The biosphere that has been controlling our climate to make it suitable for life for thousands of years. And now the digital Gaia, which is the internet that is becoming the neurons of the planet. And why this is happening in the Gaia philosophy is so that we can reproduce ourselves and move to other planets. Our future is not on this planet. Our future is in the cosmos. And that's why it's so important that we align ourselves on this planet so that we know how to join the galactic whatever, the galactic unknown that we're being pulled to. That's the evolutionary impulse to explore the cosmos, to become extraterrestrial beings. But we will not do that without loving our planet. Perhaps love is actually the key for us to get off this planet. And that's what I have said in my dissertation. That it is this new relationship between women and man, a poetic lovevolution, that causes us to know what the Gaia message is. Well, I've been dealing with these ideas for maybe close to 30 years, and they haven't really gotten weak to me. They've gotten stronger. So maybe that's an indication to me that they are real and that I am a dreamer. I'm dreaming for the planet. And the planet is part of me. My tongue is the planet. Well, I am so happy that Access Tucson is still open. It looks like they are finding new ways to fund it. So that's a good thing. I hope you continue watching the show and growing with me in this way of thinking cosmically and globally and locally. I appreciate you. And tap into your new role within the arcology model. That has made me the person who I am. I thank you very much. I thank Access Tucson. And may the spirit of the planet be with you at all times. Thank you.